Alright, I'm going to talk about the future of the franchise of a movie that I used to love when I was a kid. I remember the first time seeing it. I remember my mom was like, "Oh, let's go to the movies," and I remember they used to always take us to like Disney movies in the 90s and stuff. I was like, "Oh, I didn't even want to go." They were like, "Oh, it's an action movie," and it ended up being my favorite movie. And it came out in '94, so I was only like 7. So the next great movie you see is usually your favorite movie. Like mine before that was probably like Terminator, then like Jurassic Park and Star Wars, and then Stargate came out. Oh, I was obsessed with it. And now I finally got to see it for like pretty much from start to finish for the first time since theaters, because it would always be on TV, but it's like a long ass movie, so I wouldn't be able to see it from start to finish. So anyway, back to the news. It came out in '94, like I was saying, $55 million budget. It made 196 million, and they went on to do the TV series that lasted all the way until 2011. They did spin-off TV series Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe, all on the Sci-Fi Channel. MGM prevented the team of Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin to do sequels. So they focused on other blockbuster movies to do, like Independence Day, which went on to be a huge hit. Then Godzilla, they were the tandem that wrote the screenplay for the much hated on Godzilla reboot. Um, then they went on to do. Then they had a break for about 10 years, but Roland Emmerich has done blockbusters pretty much every year, every other year since this movie came out. He's in his early 50s. He's a German actor or German director. He made 10,000 BC. His release coming out this year is White House Down. Anyway, on to the sequel news. Writer and producer of the first one, Dean Devlin, he's always wanted to do a trilogy, and he pretty much speaks openly about wanting to return to the series or let let them do the sequel. But MGM wanted to see how the TV series went, and that obviously went huge, and they just went on with that and just kept on doing the TV series. His last interview where he talked about it was in July 2012, about a half a year ago, where he was talking to a Hollywood Reporter, talking about how him and Roland Emmerich are working together for the first time in 11 years. But what they're working on now is the sequel to Independence Day, and they didn't want to do a sequel unless Will Smith was attached, and apparently he has agreed to, and they've been working on the screenplay for that the past year. What they wanted for the sequel, though, of Stargate was a different setting. Like they were going to find a new Stargate portal, but with the same characters. Like the Dr. Jackson, James Spader character is supposed to find a different Stargate portal to transport him into a different setting, and then the Colonel, played by Kurt Russell, would meet him there or something. And the whole concept of it was supposed to be that the ancient aliens started all civilizations on Earth, and then the third movie was going to connect them all back to the Egyptian mythology, and everything from the start of history has been made by these ancient alien race, and they've traveled here through the wormhole portals. The TV show is going to be ignored if they do a sequel. If Independence Day goes on to be huge, I would love to see MGM, who is broke, and if you've seen some of my other videos, they're really working on to resurrect their old archived movies that they have or own, and resurrect those franchises so that they don't have to go out and spend money on new franchises, which is an awesome idea. They have a thick old library. They've been around forever. So it'd be awesome to see this. I know a lot of fans would love to see it. It'd be a guaranteed $200, $300 million hit. Anyway, this was JBM from VillainNews. Click on my channel for more horror and comic book movie updates. I'm out.